Hey everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. This is one of those beer reviews where we do our little happy dance. We get all excited because finally Stone Enjoy By is out. It's fresh and it has hit the shelves in December of 2015 for the 12/25. Yes, the Christmas edition of 2015. So you'll see I have two bottles here. A neighbor of mine got all excited because guess what? He found a six-pack. They very rarely ever hit our stores on the East Coast. Occasionally we'll get some. They disappear out of the stores within a few hours, typically in the six-pack form. I've always had them in the bomber bottle. So what's interesting is I already had this one, and every Enjoy By is a little bit different. I was not overwhelmed by this one. I'll still give it a phenomenal rating because I think it's one of the best beers on the planet. It was our #1 beer of 2014. Anyway, so they described this one as, here's your bomber, $8 for the bomber, the exquisite liquid patchwork. Phenomenal description of a more than a dozen hops. A dozen hops, that's what's so amazing about this beer. Devastatingly fresh, a double IPA. Freshness is the key to the component. It's especially big, it's especially hoppy, but we've taken it further, a lot further with this one. We've brewed this specifically not to last. So you're supposed to drink this before Christmas of 2015. A lot of the beers, a lot of the dates with their beers are very specific to the dates, which I think is awesome. We've gone to an extensive length to ensure that you get your hands on this beer with an extraordinarily short window, and we've sent a very clear message. The name of this beer, enjoy it right now. They tell you nothing about these beers. What's really cool, I think, about what Stone has done is if you look at the availability from statewide, I'm looking at it right now, I can't show it to you, you won't see it on the camera well enough to show you, but it looks like there's a third of the country listed on this now. It used to be like a tenth. So they've done a really good job with just distribution. It says, you know, things like live now for the present. I love the dates they choose. I won't get into some of the other dates that they've chosen, but they're really good about this. This beer was bottled on November 20th. It's now December 7th, I think. 6th, 7th. But what's so cool about what they've done is I love the fact that there's no preservatives in this beer. You can tell and taste it. It's insanely fresh. It's very floral typically. It has freshness to it that's different from the wet hop beers. I'm kind of going off on a soapbox right now, but it always consistently has this insane just explosion of hops that you cannot parallel in other beers. So let's finally get into the bomber bottle. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention was on the top of this bomber it says devastatingly joyous. Hence the Christmas date. So here again, I had this one. I've reviewed these beers since they've come out, and this one was definitely different. But it's got that traditional color, nice golden color. They're all very filtered, a little bit of carbonation, but it always has this extremely clear, white, frothy, foamy head. Laces the glass quite a bit, and when you smell it, it is one of the best aromatic IPA hoppy smells on the planet. It has this insane amount of just fresh hops. It's hard to describe, and one of the things about Enjoy By, and I've had other people express this as well, you can tell there is a dozen hops in here. There's Simcoe, Centennial, Citra, there's Mosaic, and there's probably all these other hops that we can't even pronounce that they're throwing into this beer. But what's so cool about this beer is it smells insanely fresh. And if your palate and your nose is used to fresh beer, you can tell the difference. It's something that still, in my opinion, has not been paralleled at all in the beer market, and they continue to do it. So we don't know what's in here. We don't care, but we're going to try it out. And cheers. Yeah, so this one is different than a lot of the other ones, and I remember it from this smaller 12 ounce bottle. This one doesn't explode in your mouth as much as the other ones. It's got that kind of real kind of very florally, very it tastes like you have all the flowers of the garden in there, but it's one of those beers that the hops, this one dissipates a lot faster. So, you know, most of these ABVs are around the 9%, and it's one of those beers that sometimes has a lot more booziness and stickiness to it. This one, in my opinion, is a lot drier than some of the other ones. It dissipates a lot faster, and it's what I remember about this when I had the smaller bottle. It just kind of just slowly and dissipates from your mouth, but it doesn't stay around, which is what I enjoy about this beer. So it's one of those versions that I think they're doing a little twist on, and I think they've kind of added to it where the aroma is still there, but it goes by quick. It's a lot drier, and it's not nearly as dank and sticky as it has been in the past. But I will always, I always describe this beer the same every time. It is a hop pleasure explosion in your mouth that nobody can explain unless you try it. So I love this beer. I love every time it comes out. I'll always buy it. It's a bargain at $8 for the bomber bottle. The 6-pack, I think it was $12. But we rate our beers from 1 to 5. I'll always give us a 5, 4.5. Not my favorite one of the series, but compared to other beers, I'll give you an example. So here again, I'm making this longer than I should. Oracle from Bell's. Everybody exploded the internet about it. It's a great beer. It's not bad, but it's high alcohol content. It's got an awful aftertaste, and it just doesn't go down as smooth as this. There's no other way to describe it. This beer in this bracket, in that price range, blows it out of the water. I don't understand why beers like that get their publicity on the internet. This one is always worth the money. It's awesome. I love it. Let us know if you tried it. Leave comments on our YouTube channel or our website, microbeerreviews.com. We